Hello everyone, this is your Noodle, and today we have a little bit of a tactic that will definitely help your team out and get you out of a bind. Because how many times have you been in a round where you've been way down on points, your team isn't playing well, and you're trying as hard as you can, and what is that there? Wait a minute, that guy just got out and we have ourselves a nice enemy LAV. So what do you have? You got two options when you see this happen. You can keep shooting that LAV because you just killed your enemy and get that enemy kill and then that nice big bonus of 100 whole points for getting that vehicle kill. Or you can do what I just did right there and you can take your enemy's LAV or any other vehicle that you may find the ability to take and steal and keep as your own, and you can now give your team an advantage. So what is the advantage of stealing an enemy vehicle? Well, on a map like this, we're on Hainan Resort, there are 4 LAVs, two per team. So now, instead of it being 2 versus 2, it is now 3 versus 1. My team now has access to 3 LAVs because I am in an enemy LAV, and the other team now just has 1 LAV flying around. And that is a huge shift in power. That is a big deal when you don't have a lot of vehicles on a map like this. That is a shift big enough where we actually come back from pretty much getting our butts kicked to we win this round. Combine that, if your team has that center base and you get the mobile anti-aircraft, and you're going to have those guys swimming to their gimme flag out of their home base pretty quickly because you're going to have them capped out and they're going to be screwed because you have stolen all their stolen one of their vehicles, gotten that huge shift, you've got the anti-aircraft vehicle shooting down their jets, and you've gone from losing to just poning them. And it's just an enormous advantage for you to have if you can pull this off correctly. And there are a few things to remember when you do this. When you steal a vehicle and you don't have a gunner, and I actually didn't do this in this video, and I realized while editing this I made this mistake, which it can be crucial. When you steal a vehicle, if you don't have a gunner to hand your old vehicle off to, make sure the very first thing you do, if you're clear, is destroy your current vehicle. Because you do not want the enemy to just hop in your old vehicle and bam, you're back to square one. It's 2v2, 2 LAVs versus 2 LAVs, and you've gained nothing. And you may die earlier than your other enemy, and they may then have the one up on you. So make sure you destroy your vehicle that you got out of. 2, you must be extra careful when you do this. You don't want to be the head of the big pushes. Like you can see right here, I want to let my other friendly LAV do that big push. Let him be out front there so we can work together and take out the one remaining LAV that the other team has. Kind of use this guy as a shield because you do not want to die. And with that being said, you want to stay a little further back. You don't want to hop up in those big infantry-centric kind of bases and get right up in the middle of them. You want to stick a little farther back and let your infantry do the work in capping the bases because you've now got the extra power, and you want to stay a little back. You've got extra range because you're in a vehicle. And in general, you just want to pretty much play a little bit more like a wimp. You want to keep that thing repped up at all times. You need to keep the reps up because you never know when there's a good flyer and attack jet who's going to come down and rain 30mm cannons all over you. So keep the reps up, keep yourself completely 100% health in your vehicle so you can keep the darn thing alive because you don't want to give this thing back. You want to keep this for the rest of the round at all possible. You need to keep this thing going so your team can keep up that advantage that you now have. And I mean, this thing, it absolutely will help your team so much, especially on these little maps. On the big maps, you know, like Firestorm, Goldmud Railway, Silk Road, where you've got 5v5 tanks and some LAVs, you end up having like 15 vehicles, it's not going to be that much of a percentage difference. But on these little maps where you've only got 4 vehicles and 2 attack boats, which are hardly useful anyways on this map, having that extra LAV is just going to give your team that much more of an advantage. I have turned so many rounds on their head and just come back just by jumping in an enemy vehicle and come back and won by doing this in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tip. Give it a thought the next time you see a nooblet run out of his vehicle and run for the hills when you're shooting at him. And until next time, guys, my name is Noodle, and always remember, use your noodle.